SS2 Economics class. We have rounded up your classes on economics for SS1. We have about 32 videos for you, 32 episodes that covers your SS1 class. If you have not seen the 32 episodes, navigate through the channel to find it. If you find it difficult to find it and you want it in just a singular way, piled together for you or compiled together for you, please head over to Class Online School and get it for it. Okay, the 32 episode will be waiting for you there. Thank you for being part of this class. Welcome to your XX2 class. Follow along, transfer the knowledge you gain from your SS1 to this SS2, because we're going to meet some of those things we discussed in SS1. Welcome to this class. We're talking about revenue concept. When we talk about revenue, what do we mean? We're taking two objectives for this class. What is revenue and types of revenue? In business, we talk about revenue all the time. Some persons look at revenue as money that comes into the firm or the organization or the business. Some people look at revenue as money they have from sales of goods and services. Some people look at revenue from the angle of the money that they call profit. That's to say, after all expenses have been removed from production costs, they call that revenue. Some look at revenue in form of the assets in which the organization possess, like machineries, like land, like assets. But in this class, how are we going to look at revenue? Revenue can be said to be all the money, income accruing to a firm from sales of goods and services, assets or investment. So revenue here, it's not just money, it has to do with money that have accrued, compiled up, have come together over a period of time. And this money, it's in your profitability areas. Money you have made over time after all expenditures, after all costs have been done, and you get that as your revenue, as the money you have to either invest, to get assets or cash on hand. So we can look at revenue as an accrued income of a firm that they got from sales of goods and services, and then it can be seen from the assets they purchase because they have this money, or the investment they have put up because of the money they got from the revenue of the business. So the concept of revenue can be in physical cash, it can be in investment, and it can be in assets. So when you talk about revenue, always remember that it is the money or income accruing to a firm or a business over time, and they get this accrued income because of the goods and services they have provided. And then this accrued money can be used to purchase assets. This accrued money can be used to carry out other investments. A business can be in production of a particular product, and then the revenue they have accrued over a period of time can be used to invest in other places. They can use it to invest in stock. They can use it to invest in crypto. They can use it to invest in real estate. This is because they have gathered enough revenue to help them in other sectors of their business, and to help the business owner to expand his empire or her empire. We have seen what revenue is and different ways people look at revenue, but we have seen what revenue is in this class. But what are the types of revenue that we have? I'm going to list a few, and we're going to discuss each of them, representing them mathematically, the way we are going to apply it in formulas we will use in the future. Number one is total revenue. The second one is average revenue. Then the third is marginal revenue. We have total revenue. We have three types of revenue. We'll have the total revenue, we'll have the average revenue, and we'll have the marginal revenue. What are these? How do we explain each of these types of revenue, and how do they apply to your business? Let's look at the explanation of each of these types. So the types of revenue. total revenue represented by TR. The total amount of income generated from the sales of a firm's products. That's to say that total revenue is everything that the company produced and sold out. That's the total revenue. So if the company produce 1,000 products and they sell of this 1,000 products, that is their total revenue. If they produce 1,500 and they sold 1,300, the 1,300 is the total revenue. So it is the sales of a firm's products, the total sale of the amount of income generated from the sales of a firm's products. So it has to do with sales, not goods left in the store. Total revenue is if the company produces 1,500 products and sell 1,300, the total revenue gotten is the 1,300 that is sold, not the 1,500 that is produced. And the formula is total revenue is price times quantity. How much was the goods sold and at what quantity? When you times the price to the quantity, it gives you the total revenue that the company has made or the business have made. So total revenue is how much is it sold, what is the quantity that is sold. If you times them together, I give you the total amount of revenue. That is for total revenue. Then average revenue. The average revenue per unit is the per unit sold. It's also equal to the firm's product. The average revenue can be said to be per unit sold of a product. Let's say, for example, okay, let's look at the formula. It is total revenue divided by the quantity. How much is sold? Then divided by the quantity that is sold. That is total. That is average revenue. The total revenue here, that's everything sold together, divided by the quantity that has been sold, will give you your average revenue. Always remember that average is divided by. Okay. Now we go to marginal revenue. Marginal revenue, the addition to the total revenue as an additional unit of product sold. An additional unit of product sold. Why is that so? Now, the marginal revenue, it's, for example, it is the change in total revenue as a result of selling one more unit of a commodity. For example, if total revenue is 90 naira from the sales of 9 units of products, and this 9 units, it's now 95 naira for the sales of 10 units. The additional 5 naira is the marginal unit. Let me take it clearer. You have a product you have to sell for 90 naira. That is your original bargain. And you produce. At the end of selling 10 units of this product, you sell it for 95 naira instead of the original 90 naira you intend to sell it. The 5 naira is the marginal revenue, because it is not what the initial price was, but because the market was favorable, there was a margin of profitability in there. This margin of profitability is what we call marginal revenue. Okay? And it can be mathematically represented by MR, which is marginal revenue, which is equals to total revenue divided by theta quantity. We're going to apply these formulas when we are doing other areas in the economics class. Don't worry, we'll get to that area. But please bear in mind, these are formula derived to work with types of revenue. Your total revenue, your marginal revenue, and your average revenue. So we've been able to explain each of these ones. I have told you that marginal revenue is the addition to the total revenue as an additional unit of product which is sold. It is represented by this formula I've given to you. And the marginal revenue has to do with margin of profitability. Product is to be sold for 90 naira per unit, and you sell it for 95 naira per unit. The 5 naira that comes as a result of sales, it's the marginal difference, and that is what you use in calculating total cost, total revenue divided by theta quantity. In our next class, we'll discuss other economics areas. But please, go over this class. Look at what revenue is. Look at the type of revenue. Look at the mathematical formula we have used. Total revenue, in the mathematical formula, it's price times quantity sold. Watch my explanation of this. Then average revenue, the formula is total revenue divided by quantity, or average revenue equals to price. Then marginal revenue is total revenue divided by theta quantity. That is the formula. So bear it in mind. Write it somewhere. We will use it in your class. Remember, this is your SS2 class. The higher you go, the higher knowledge you're expected to gain. Alright? So please follow along. This is your first episode. We'll still have many episodes. Like we have close to 32 episodes in SS1. We think we'll have up to that or even more than that. So come along. Follow us on this journey. Invite those who think would benefit from this video. Share the video. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like what we do here. And so, until I come your way next class, ask your question below the comment box. That is our point of interaction. It is not a monologue class, it is a dialogue class between you and I. See you next class.